We're here today to introduce to you the new Zeppelin Air. One of the things that is important though to understand before we go into the product is to talk a little bit about where we have come from. 3 years ago, Bowers Wilkins made a very, very bold move into this category. Why do I say that? Well, we, as Erwin pointed out, are a company rich in the heritage of high-end audiophile quality products. And it wasn't a natural move for a company with that kind of heritage to move into this category of business. However, we recognized that music is very, very important in people's lives. And when the introduction of the iPod came about, it changed forever how people choose to listen to music. We were already almost 8 months into a program to dramatically improve the acoustic quality of the Zeppelin product. And it just so happened that these two programs came together. And we elected, therefore, that what we would do is not just put Airplay into our product, but completely rebuild the Zeppelin product from the ground up. We retain its iconic look and feel, but everything else about it has completely changed. And I'll go through some of that with you right now. So everything about the Zeppelin product is new and improved. All the drivers have been changed. We now have the drivers that are built in, the tweeters that you see here, are the same tweeters that are in our renowned MM1s. In addition to that, we have new mid-range units. The mid-range units actually are a little bit smaller than the original one. The reason for that is that it gives much better sound dispersion into the room, and in terms of the balance of the frequencies coming into the room. As you can see from the shape of the product, it's quite long, which means you get a nice stereo image. In addition to that, now with how the actual drivers are positioned within the housing, not only do you get that nice stereo image, but how all the drive units work together give you a nice even dispersion of sound throughout the entire listening area. So that's one major change we've made. The second major change we've made is now it's a completely active digital system. So we have 5 Class D audiophile grade amplifiers that have been custom designed by us. So every driver in the cabinet has its own dedicated amplifier. A 50-watt amplifier dedicated to the bass, which is a built-in subwoofer, and a 25-watt amplifier dedicated to each of the tweeters and each of the mid-range units. So we've increased the power, and when you increase the power, you get increased performance, and you get much better, bigger room-filling sound from a relatively small enclosure. In addition to that, if you look to the rear of the product has completely changed. We also have digital signal processing now that has been substantially upgraded within the product. Our DSP algorithms are proprietary, they're done in-house. There are many advantages of DSP. One of them is that you can protect and control very precisely the signals that you're sending into each of the drivers. That has 2 benefits. One benefit is that you can protect the drivers, protect them from being overdriven. But when you have a system design product, you're matching the amplifiers very, very closely to each driver. So it's very unlikely you're going to overdrive them. On the other side of the equation, you also have what is commonly known as dynamic equalization that's possible, which means that at all volume levels, you get a nice balance of all frequencies. If you consider listening to a traditional hi-fi system, what you'll notice is as you drop the volume level of the hi-fi system, of the sound, bass almost disappears when it gets quite quiet, because it requires so much more power to drive it. And when you increase the volume, the bass comes back. When you play it very, very loud, oftentimes the bass can really mask the subtleties of the higher frequencies. Well, with dynamic equalization, it's possible for us to dynamically adjust the tone of all of the frequencies working together to ensure you get balanced sound at all volume levels. What that means is even when you play it very quietly, you get well-defined bass, and when you play it loud, you don't get the bass dominating the other and masking the other frequencies. And I'll demonstrate that for you a little bit later. Now, in the digital world, DACs are very, very important. It's one thing about managing the signal that's coming in. It's another thing converting it and sending the signal to the drivers. And in the DAC world, we have now audiophile dual processing DACs, and we're able to upsample everything that comes into the product to 96 kilohertz 24-bit audio, which is CD quality audio. So all the signals we're able to upsample, and we're also able to accept streaming Apple Lossless, again, which is CD quality audio. This was very important to us as we embarked on this program, because as I said earlier, quality sound is what we're about. Quality sound isn't possible if you haven't got a quality signal. So that was really, really important to us for all of these pieces to fit together. So the audiophile DACs are built into the product as well, and as I said, we upsample everything to 96 hertz and 24-bit audio. Again, as I mentioned before, the rear of the product is designed. We now, from our 800 series, our flagship product, we have incorporated Flowport technology. What is Flowport technology? Well, it's a little bit like a golf ball. If you imagine, see all these dimples, all the little dimples that you see on a golf ball are there to dramatically reduce the turbulence of the air moving around the ball. So no matter what anyone tells you, if it's not the ball's fault when it doesn't go where you want it to go. That's what those little dimples do. They ensure there's an even balance of turbulence around the ball. In the same way as in this product, particularly at louder volumes, there's a phenomenal amount of air moving in and out of the port. And one of the challenges at high speed, and one of the challenges is preventing the port from choking. And what can happen when the port chokes, you get this kind of faffing sound when there's port noise. Well, Flowport technology virtually eliminates that and ensures you get a much tighter, cleaner bass response, even at high levels, volume levels. So all of those changes, those 5 big changes that I've talked about, they're all significant in and of themselves. But when they all come together, they actually dramatically improve the performance of the Zeppelin Air over the original Zeppelin. And I'll give you a demonstration of that in a couple of minutes' time. So now you can appreciate how it's important for us to re-establish a new benchmark for audio quality within this category. Because AirPlay is a great technology and it deserves the very best audio quality. And we want to make sure that when other people embed this technology in their product, we will still be viewed upon as having the best sounding product within the category. So, what is AirPlay technology? You probably know most of what this is, what I'm going to tell you right now, and then we'll go into a demonstration. There are a number of things it's possible to do with AirPlay. You can stream wirelessly from iTunes on your Mac or PC to an AirPlay-enabled device, such as a Zeppelin Air. You can stream to multiple AirPlay devices at the same time and have independent volume control of each unit. But you're streaming the same signal to multiple rooms, kind of like party mode. One of the other benefits of AirPlay now is if you have an iOS device that has iOS 4.2 or later, it is possible for you to stream content directly from this device to an AirPlay device without a computer. So for example, you could have content residing on this, or you could have an application such as Spotify that pulls content from the web, from a server, and then you can render that and stream that directly to an AirPlay device. And then one of the things that I mentioned before, it supports Apple Lossless streaming, which means that we get a really high quality audio signal coming into the product, and we're able to render that now and deliver a very, very high quality audio product and audio sound into